To most of the galaxy, humanity was a whisper, a forgotten ember. Their chronicles spoke of a species that burned hot, then vanished. The Zorith archivists taught their young that humans were bold, yes, reckless in expansion, violent in industry, insatiable in curiosity, but ultimately short-lived. They rose, fought wars, and then they fell silent. For 8 centuries, not a single Terran signal crossed the star lanes. Not a single envoy or trader came from Earth. Their colonies, once scattered like sparks across nearby arms, winked out one by one. The galaxy concluded the obvious. Humanity was extinct, consumed by its own chaos. In council halls, alien historians scoffed at the old tales of Terran fleets. Myths of ships so numerous they could eclipse stars, of admirals whose strategies shattered empires. Those were ghost stories, legends exaggerated by time. The galaxy was sure, humans were finished. The silence was proof. And silence, after all, was final. Anomaly at the edge. It began as a trivial reading. A mining consortium operating at the edge of the Perseus Fringe reported interference, a static echo across subspace, buried under millennia of cosmic noise. The overseers dismissed it, old junk perhaps, drifting relics from the wars of long ago. The Perseus Fringe was littered with derelicts, twisted hulks half buried in dust clouds, shattered colonies, debris fields circling dead suns. A graveyard. But then the signal pulsed, rhythmic, ordered, a code. Explorers sent drones. They returned shredded, their feeds corrupted by something vast, metallic, and deliberate. The consortium sealed the report, but whispers seeped out. Other ships went hunting. They found shapes. Shadowed silhouettes of warships, kilometers long, resting motionless in black space. Hulls scarred, plates ancient, banners unreadable. Thousands of them hanging silent as tombstones. The aliens laughed uneasily. Human ruins, they said, the last wrecks of a dead species. Yet every scan came back strange. Power levels faint but present. Reactor signatures dormant yet not decayed. Transponders transmitting, code still valid. The stirring of ghosts. The first true terror came not from sight, but from sound. Deep field arrays recorded vibrations, a bass rumble that was not natural. Somewhere within that graveyard, reactors were igniting. Ancient engines, cold for centuries, coughed and then roared. Observers watched in disbelief as one vessel's lights flared, then another, then dozens. Hulls that had drifted for ages shivered, exhaled, and came alive. Their systems were not corroded beyond use. They had been waiting. Encrypted Terran signals burst into space, slicing through channels unused for generations. Auto cannons extended like wings. Hangar bays cycled. The ruins were not ruins at all. They had been sleeping, and now they were waking. The fleet revealed. What the galaxy had called a graveyard was, in truth, a vault. The lost fleet, armadas built at humanity's height, had not perished. They had been hidden, placed in slumber beyond the rim. Hundreds, perhaps thousands of ships, every class from titanic dreadnoughts to knife-like escorts, rose from their dark repose. Formations realigned with precision no modern navy could match. Codes from centuries past, unbroken and unaltered, stitched them together into perfect unity. To witness, it was like seeing a painting move. Hulls armored with alloys long thought impossible gleamed as stars reflected from their surfaces. Vast engines cut swathes of blue fire across the void. And above all, silence broken. For where there had been emptiness, now came command. A signal repeated across bands, old Terran standard, its words chilling in their clarity. Humanity endures. Panic in the stars. The watching fleets of alien powers faltered. Panic spread as reports multiplied. They maneuver as if time never passed. Their weapons activate at ranges we cannot read. They know our codes, they know our positions. The lost fleet did not test, nor did it hesitate. In one motion it advanced. A single Terran battleship, its nameplate reading ISV Harbinger, cut across a border patrol of the Shalkith Dominion. The aliens fired everything. The Harbinger moved like a predator, its counterstrikes surgical, devastating. Entire wings erased in seconds. But worse than its firepower was its discipline. These ships had been asleep for centuries, and yet they fought as though their crews had drilled the day before. No drift, no hesitation, no confusion. Flawless. The galaxy realized the truth. This was not a derelict force fumbling awake. This was a war machine preserved intact. A blade kept sharp, sheathed in silence until the moment of need. The terror made real. Across systems, stars themselves seemed to witness terror. Armadas of other species scrambled to contain the awakening. They found themselves dwarfed. Terran carriers disgorged swarms of fighters, each piloted by intelligence. Whether human or construct, none could tell. Cruisers moved in phalanxes, shields overlapping, firepower harmonized. Against them, the galaxy's proudest navies looked crude. The lost fleet spread like a storm, not destroying without cause but demonstrating. Every clash ended the same. Alien fleets retreating, stations crippled, borders redrawn not by treaty but by silence in the aftermath. The most haunting part was not the destruction, it was the precision. Humans were not lashing out in rage. They were showing, teaching the galaxy a lesson it had forgotten. Humanity does not die, it waits. Aftermath, whispers in the dark. In the wake of the awakening, every council chamber trembled. What had been myth was now memory made flesh. The stars whispered with dread. If this was only a forgotten arsenal, how many more slept elsewhere? What vaults hid under frozen moons? What armories drifted in void storms? What legions lay beneath dust-shrouded worlds? Humanity, it seemed, had not trusted the galaxy. It had prepared for its own silence, and in that silence it had built storms to unleash when the time was right. The lost fleet did not speak further. Its ships moved in eerie unity, patrolling forgotten sectors, their signals repeating the same cold line. Humanity endures. The galaxy understood at last. Humans did not just build fleets. They preserved nightmares, encased in silence, waiting for the stars to demand their return. And now the stars had witnessed terror. The quiet certainty of alien histories. The Inhalter archivists were creatures of patience, their sprawling crystal archives stretching across 10-star systems. They prided themselves on remembering what others had forgotten, piecing together millennia of galactic history. In those endless records, one civilization was always written as a brief and curious footnote: humanity. The archivists described them as reckless, short-lived, and ultimately doomed. A species that flared brightly, fought violently, and then faded into silence. Their homeworld, Earth, had long been listed as lost to internal collapse. The Galactic Council no longer debated their fate. Humanity was spoken of the way one mentions a storm long past, its roar now only memory. Silence had lasted 500,000 years. No ships, no signals, no colonies, no proof of survival. Extinct, the archivists whispered. Forgotten, the politicians agreed. Harmless, the warlords scoffed. The galaxy moved on, certain humanity's chapter had closed forever. Echoes among the dead stars. It began as nothing more than static. In the Tharo's expanse, a starless stretch of void haunted by drifting wreckage, a survey craft belonging to the Aritha's dominion picked up faint patterns. The crew dismissed them at first, echoes, debris transmissions, the ghosts of ancient wars. Yet the signals persisted. They were rhythmic, structured, almost purposeful. The Aritha's commander filed the report with the council, suggesting automated distress beacons from forgotten ruins. Analysts shrugged. The expanse was known for old derelicts, empty husks from civilizations long past. Still, ships were dispatched to investigate. Scanners probed the darkness, mapping metallic anomalies hidden within nebula dust. Thousands of returns appeared, too many for simple wreckage. What the surveyors uncovered chilled even hardened captains. There was no scattered ruin, no debris field. Instead, they found an enormous formation, a graveyard of ships. Rows upon rows of vast hulls, aligned with military precision, silent as tombstones. Ancient human insignias were etched into the plating, their edges dulled by millennia. Some ships were as large as cities, their angular design unlike anything seen in modern fleets. A forgotten armada, slumbering in the dark. The growing unease. The council declared the discovery archaeological. Historians celebrated, eager to catalog another extinct species' remains. Explorers moved closer, mapping each hull, venturing aboard. They reported eerily intact interiors, bridges where controls were coated in dust, mess halls where tables stood set as if waiting for a crew to return. Engines loomed like mountains, dormant but untouched by time. No decay, no collapse, simply silence. And then came the warnings. Explorers spoke of low vibrations as though the ships themselves breathed. Tools failed near reactor cores. Probes vanished inside hangar bays. More troubling still, some claimed to hear voices, faint whispers of command codes in forgotten human tongues. The council dismissed such tales as superstition, yet quietly unease spread.